Hello and welcome to the Best Bang for the Buck YouTube channel. This is Tom from Best Bang for the Buck PC, and today I'm going to show you a PC build for $1,000 that I think is the best value for the money right now. I'll break down this video into segments dedicated to each individual part I use for this build, explaining why I chose it and why I think it's the best for the money. So let's get started. Each build should start with choosing a case, and for this build I chose the Fractal Design Define R4 Titanium Grey case, which will set you back $65 at NCIX US. Fractal Design cases are made of mostly quality materials, and the build quality is also great. I chose the titanium grey color because I think it looks fantastic, but the case comes in black and Arctic white as well. The case comes with a front and back 140mm hydraulic bearing silent series fan that spins at 1000 RPM, and the case is also padded with noise reducing materials and offers a lot of cable management options. This is a great value case overall. For the motherboard, I went with the Gigabyte GA170 HD3P ATX board, which will set you back $88 after rebate on UEG. That's a very good price for a Z170 board. It might not have all the fancy features like the more expensive models, but those cost like twice as much. But hey, you're on a budget and this board covers all your basics and more. It has 4 RAM slots and supports SLI and or Crossfire if you decide to expand your system down the line. So you're good to go on that front. Oh, and it also supports non-K Skylake CPU overclocking. Which brings us to the CPU, and I know some of you might not agree with my CPU choice, but I think this chip along with the Z170 board supporting non-K series Skylake overclocking is a fantastic combination. The i5-6500 has a base clock of 3.2 GHz and turbos up to 3.6 GHz if left at stock. That's more than enough for an average user, but you can get more out of it if you want to. I've seen overclocks of up to 4.5 GHz on this CPU, and most people can get it to 4 GHz with ease, even if they don't have much experience with overclocking. At stock clocks and at $200, it's an okay value. Overclock it and you have a winner hands down. To keep things nice and frosty at the CPU area, I also chose to add an aftermarket cooler since Intel's stock one isn't that great, especially if you're going to be overclocking. So I went with a modern classic, the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. At $25 after rebate on Newegg, along with free shipping, you just can't beat it. Obviously, it's not the best cooler around, but for the money, it's hard to find anything better. The 120mm fan on it is not the quietest fan, but it moves a lot of air, with the cooler still offering an option to add a second fan for a push-pull combination if you feel the need for it. Again, you can't go wrong with this one. When it comes to RAM, well, RAM is pretty cheap these days, and 8GB of it is pretty much the healthiest amount to buy if you're not rendering or photo editing a lot. For this build, I went with a single stick of g.skill NT series 8GB DDR4 2400MHz RAM. At $35, it was the cheapest option to get, and looking at benchmarks, for single and dual channel RAM, well, there isn't much of a difference. Also, buying another 8GB stick down the line is always an option. If you can find anything cheaper from a reputable company, well, buy that one instead. Pixels. Something needs to render them on your screen, right? Well, I gave that task to the Sapphire R9 390 Nitro, a GPU with a 3-fan design cooler where fans stop spinning at idle loads while keeping the card cool while gaming. Well, it's a fantastic card for $310 after rebate on Newegg, and compared to its rival, the GTX 970, it's just a tad bit better in games. With 8GB of VRAM and DirectX 12 support, you can't go wrong with this card. It's a pretty long graphics card though, so paired with the Fractal Design case we chose for the build, prepare to sacrifice a few drive caches. For the PSU, well, I went with a semi-modular 80+ gold-rated Cooler Master VSM 750W. It rocks 62 amps on a 12V rail, and it being semi-modular will also help with your cable management inside the case. At $80 after rebate along with free shipping, it's a great PSU that will serve you well for years. Sure, you might argue that it's a bit of an overkill for this build and that the quality 600 or 650 watt PSU would do just fine as well, and I agree, but looking into the future you won't have to worry about having enough power. Both AMD and Nvidia are preparing very power efficient cards in the future, and running two of them in SLI or Crossfire should not be an issue with this PSU. Storing all them bits and bytes requires some hard drives, and I chose two for this build. The good old SSD and mechanical drive combination. For the SSD I went with the ADATA Premier SP550 120GB drive. At 39 bucks, it's fantastic for an OS drive with room to spare for your favorite game or two. The mechanical drive is a Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB 7200 RPM model that will serve as your main storage. At 50 bucks, it offers great price to performance. Well, some people still use them, so I included one. Yeah, I'm talking about the DVD drive. I chose the cheapest one I could find, which was the Lighton one. At 13 bucks. It's not bad, and why not? And of course, we're gonna need it to install our OS. The operating system. Well, you can't do much without one. So I went with Windows 8.1 OEM 64-bit for 86 bucks after rebate. With Windows 10 still being a free upgrade, you can still do that until the summer of this year if you decide you don't like Windows 8.1. It's a solid operating system. I've been using it for, well, just over a year now. It's stable, user-friendly, and with good driver and device support. This build's total comes together just under the $1,000 mark at 990 bucks. A lot of power, upgrading potential, and modern technology packed into a lovely case that you'll be proud to showcase on your desk. You can find the link to the complete build on pcpartpicker.com in the description. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment and a like if you found it helpful, and of course you're also welcome to discuss this build in the comments below. This has been Tom from Best Bang for the Buck PC. See you next time.